Hi everyone, I'm Gohar Vardanyan, and today we have a very casual practice video on Bach's Chaconne. When I asked you guys on Instagram if you would be interested in another one of these videos, I think like 97% of you said yes. So here we are. I did one of these on Bach's Presto from the first violin sonata maybe like a year and a half ago, and it seemed to be interesting for people, so I thought, why not? So the only thing that's going to be different between what would have been doing if you guys weren't here is that I would verbalize what I'm thinking versus just, doing it in silence and having you guess. This is, as I said, Bach's Chaconne. It's the last movement of the second Violin Partita. I'm playing Manuel Barrueco's transcription with fingering changes, and also I'm taking the arpeggio section, like that middle big arpeggio section from Segovia's edition. And other than that, what else will help you? In terms of how long I've been working on it, I started back in December. I learned it once when I was 13. By learned, that's a very generous word. I memorized it when I was about 13. Never really polished it, maybe played it for like a couple of more weeks after memorization, and then just dropped it because it was just not, like, it was not the right time to learn that piece. And then I don't know, I never went back to it. And last year I decided that I can't like not play the Chaconne. That just seems like it's criminal. So I decided to finally learn it. So December is when I restarted. It was really just like learning a new piece because it's been way too long since I was 13 years old. And it's been on and off because even though it's been like more than 6 months or so since December, anytime a concert comes along, I kind of drop the new repertoire and I start concentrating more on the program that I will be playing in a concert. So it's been on and off. I haven't kept track of how many hours I've spent on it. I always mean to, because I know you guys are interested in that. And I start out so strong, and then I just stop because it's not really in my routine to track everything I'm doing. So I have no idea how many hours I've spent. But time-wise, it's been since December, but definitely on and off. So at this stage, it's getting close to being playable. In sections I can play it as the whole thing is starting to come together. The final goal for this piece is definitely to make a performance video for YouTube. I don't know if I will be playing it in concerts. It is about 13-14 minutes of music, so that's a pretty big chunk of a program. It would be nice. I just haven't decided that yet, but definitely my aim is to make a performance video, and it's starting to get close, so there's hope. And today's agenda, I guess, for practicing is just to go through it. I haven't played it in a couple of days, so I might be surprised with some sections and my inability or ability to play it. And it's to go through and just to try to make each phrase as pretty as I can, as balanced as I can, like anything that I can find that to improve. And I will try to explain as I'm playing through, correcting things like what exactly I'm looking for. So I hope you get some tea or coffee or something, and let's go. So in the beginning here, I'm just trying to really balance out each chord. It's the first thing that people are gonna hear. Get a nice pace going. This chord, by the way, I don't think I mentioned already, I'm playing Manuel Barrueco's transcription with some fingering changes, and I'm using the Segovia transcription for that middle famous arpeggio part. Just thought it kind of I like the bass choices there more. So this beginning, even though it seems like really simple, there's so many places that you can just fumble, and it's the very beginning, and you just don't want to mess up the first 4 measures. I'm trying to balance so that obviously I want to hear the highest note, but I want to hear the whole harmony. So I'm trying to make sure that my right hand plays it balanced. gets me. It's really uncomfortable, and I want to make sure that when I roll this, I don't just brush against the notes, but so it has direction. Nope, that was too fast. I think that's better. Nope, too harsh. It's the timing. I kind of want to start a little bit slower and go for the beat. But this one, this didn't really work. I think doing it all with the thumb is better. Yeah, that sounds better. And then this one, being a little bit more deliberate with every note, so an arpeggiated, like a PPP IMA, gives me more control. And then there's also the muting of the basses, which is gonna annoy me. Also is a 16th note, so that's better. So if I back up, and here my aim is to make sure that the melody stands out. This. Alone and then becomes an inner voice with the upper voices adding, but I don't want it to get lost as the upper voices come in. To mute the bass. So I mute the bass as I play the 4th string, and then mute the 4th string, or something else is vibrating there, but yeah, so I have to mute the 5th string as well. So yeah, I like when things ring. I feel like the guitar makes it sound really, it makes the guitar sound really big and full, but if I want it to be clean, I might need to be more specific. And also I missed it because I got, for no reason, 10s in the left hand, so it didn't shift well. So here, okay. Nope. These places, they're so annoying because you have open strings, and it's if you're not careful, like the way I can place things, I can mute the open string and it just buzzes and it's not clean. So it seems really easy and simple until you play it and you buzz things for no good reason. So same thing here. just to clean up, to get more comfortable. I'll try to play through, see if I can incorporate all of this. Here I found that it's the timing of the release for the C sharp. Because I'm rolling this, I want this to ring as long as possible, but I have to take it off as soon as I play the index finger. So then it's clean, and my C sharp I don't take off. It doesn't sound like I took off prematurely. I can clean it up more, and I'll just keep going. Now this, I just wanted the phrases to be a little bit more lyrical, I guess. Finally coming out of that very rhythmic dotted 8th, 16th, dotted 8th, 16th, and it's just straight up 16th, 8th notes and then turning into 16ths, and I wanted to flow more. Too bad. In general, whenever I have running notes like that, I'm really trying to follow the contour of the line and really pay attention to the intervals I'm playing. So if it's like stepwise, it might move along more. If they're big leaps, then I would probably take a little extra time to go to that leap. Then it just sort of follows the contour better and sounds more natural. For example, this, I'm just spelling out a 7th chord, and then it's stepwise, and then I'm jumping the whole 6th stop, right? So I wouldn't want to do something like, and just not pay attention to the fact that I went stepwise and then I'm leaping, and my timing exactly is the same. I think it would sound boring that way. Besides paying attention to the actual size of the interval, I would also pay attention to the dissonance of the interval, notes that I'm landing on that are kind of dissonant, like for example here. The F sharp is acting like like a leading tone to the G. So I would sit on it a little bit more. So I'm kind of like, I pay attention to it, like reaching down to the F sharp and then resolving to the G. But not letting things ring over each other, of course, because it's a line, it's one line, so I can't have things become two simultaneous ones. Another surprise. Right. Now here I want it to be detached. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it that way, but every time I play it I want to do, instead of playing what am I playing? See, I can't even do it legato. Yeah, that I kind of feel like it's more of the same, and the character there kind of changes. So if I do very legato before and then start to detach there, especially with the two voices playing with each other, it would sound better. And then bass cutting, so that means right hand has to change. Gives it a little bit of variety. Okay. Now this shift, not my favorite. Never found another way that's better. Can't let go. I can't switch early, because the D technically is supposed to be ringing. The guy needs to ring, so I'm kind of stuck here. Playing the D here, not an option, so. So then maybe I can phrase it in a way where I can cheat and make it there on time. This I really like here. So sort of like a momentum thing that takes me down all the way. This one, and then continues the second time around. It doesn't stay short like that. So this is just, and then, but it continues downwards, and it's just nice to let your fingers go until you hit the B natural. Oh, and my right hand doesn't know what it's doing either. It's really this. It's not that hard. Section, I just really want to follow the contour of all the 16th notes and make it as seamless and as natural as I possibly can. And all the detailed stuff, I don't want to bore you. Just know that there's probably about 100 repetitions coming of that section later, while no one's watching. I can't do that, so fingering written down there. And that's why, boys and girls, I always preach that you should write them. And this one, I just kind of like kept playing it and it worked. So that's an A. A. I do use A's probably more than an average person. I just kind of feel like in Bach especially, it just sort of resets things and it allows you to have more fingers available to you afterwards. Because if you're doing I and M, if you're going in one direction, you're only left with one other choice. But if you're doing PA somewhere, going in a descending direction, you have M and I left, so you have more choices how you're going to follow. And just for me, it works better using A's more. Where I actually am. Definitely was not doing an A there. See, that's what you go through when you didn't write down the fingering the first time around, when you were thinking about it. I think that's an I there. That's just getting lazy. Yeah, that works. Okay, so now I know what I'm doing. Back up a little bit. Oh, nope. Happens in Bach, like we just don't have enough strings to make things ring, to really put things on different strings whenever they need to be. So this, I have to make it so legato, so I mask the fact that it's on the same string, because if I don't pay attention to it, it's gonna sound choppy, kind of like a typewriter. But if I'm really careful, play this a little stronger, play this a little bit softer, gonna create more of an illusion like I'm playing two different notes, like as if I'm doing this. But this D is already taken by the bass, so I can't play that again. So I have to play it open. But with timing, I have to make it sound like it's on two different strings and not choppy. another one I kind of wanted to cascade more. Okay, so here there's other voices that that are coming through, and I want to make sure that for each sequence I hold them the same amount, because if they're different, then because it's a sequence and it really sounds the same, it would be noticeable. So what I mean here, like here, I'm leaving the D ringing because I'm just playing the chord, right? And then the same thing, so the C is ringing here, and then I have another one here. And I know that sometimes I do this, and because I left the D ring and the C ring, if I don't let the B ring, everyone would notice that all of a sudden the descending line, one of them is shorter. So I have to make sure that I articulate each sequence the same way. Same thing with the first note of the scale. I'm playing this, I'm kind of leaving this, right? I'm leaving the C. So this one, is it less convenient to leave it down, and I have to make sure I do. Because I created that sequence already articulation-wise. Oops, what is going on? Simple. Why am I messing up? So this I wanted to keep building and building. Again, we have sequences going through different harmonies, right? So doesn't have basses, and then this one. So that I want to come out. So this section, I like it. It's so pretty. The whole entire piece is just so much emotion, and so much energy, and just keeps building and building, and then coming down, and then building again. It's cool. You can get addicted playing it. So you get here. I want to land pretty loud, but at the same time, I don't want to overplay. So if I'm playing the strings and make it sound bright and not so pretty. So I have to be careful to push more in. Not push in, but that's better. So no clawing. That doesn't work. Starting to play together. I don't want to cut the A. And this is the rare occasion where I would do a slur that's free stroke, meaning I'm not going to pull down and pressed on the other string, which usually makes the slur way stronger. But I have to let this ring, so I have to go upwards. This slur I even just took out. This part, it was written like this, but sorry, I'm taking it out because doing this at that speed was not reliable. So because this is a strong chord, I'm just gonna pluck the C sharp and let the F ring and not have the chance of it getting cut off. So my hands are a little bit bigger. I want to hold the G. I also don't want to pull it out of tune. My life would have been so much easier if I did this. But then there's a bass. Right, so if I cut the G and hold the A's, then it's just not going to sound good. So finger dislocation.
Results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
What in the world? I swear, like, did I say her name or his name? My Siri is a British male. That's Anyway, interruptions. Oh, now I can do it. It doesn't feel like my pinky is getting dislocated. Here, it's hot by the way, and I had to turn off all the AC and air conditioning, so there's less noise, but it's not the most comfortable time to practice. That I changed. If you watch the one of the Instagram videos, I just commented. I played a section and I just kept practicing something, and the fingering that was there, I just tried to make it work because it was good fingering, and it was this spot here. It was written like this, which seems like great. So. And you know, sometimes I would get it, sometimes not. And then every time I did it fast, going from here and doing this, like switching my fingers so I could reach, I would miss it. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna create a shift, because this more naturally fits at that speed. And then I can shift forward and then do two. And that's... miss it less. But now I'm kind of like fighting the two fingerings because I spent months doing it one way, and then last minute decided like it's not worth the time that it's taking, and I changed it. So now I gotta drill in the new one. Remember it. As I said, I haven't played this in a couple of days, so I did not know what was awaiting me. I found that for this section, the more relaxed I am, the better the chances that I would play it through, and that's probably true for literally everything that you ever play, but especially fast things. Whenever I get a little bit tight, concerned, oh my god, how am I going to play this, etc., the sound starts to suffer, and you want this to be, you know, loud and present, and obviously it's 30-second notes, so there's speed involved. But if I get tight, like the sound starts to suffer, and that's my first clue that my hands are not as relaxed. And if you're relaxed and you do it, you can play it forte and it still won't sound like, you know, like an ugly sound. Like the difference. Let's see if I can even do the other thing here too, obviously I practiced it with a metronome. That's really very much like calculated everything, right? But a little bit of flexibility makes it sound more musical versus just playing it at tempo, and then it just sounds like you're trying to show off how fast you can play, but it doesn't have any shape. Like this sounds nicer than like just playing it on time. Like this, for example. Kind of like you're falling down to the beat. Same thing here, this versus like, right, like that's completely even. But if I did, then you're playing fast, but it doesn't sound like you're trying to show off. It sounds more like you're trying to shape the line, and it makes it easier to play. Now here, I am intending to switch to the rest stroke. I feel like it gives a natural crescendo. So I'm starting free stroke, and then on the second string, going to rest stroke. Same thing here. Same thing there. And even though, yes, it's Baroque music, and yes, you're not supposed to have rest strokes in Baroque music. It's Bach. Everything's supposed to be free stroke because there's counterpoint, etc. And when you are using rest strokes like that, like I'm telling you, right? I'm sharing that information, but if you do it well, no one should be able to hear that you switched to rest stroke. It's just going to give you the shape that you want by naturally becoming louder, like a crescendo. But if you can tell that it all of a sudden switched to like a more percussive thing, then probably not a good idea. So your rest strokes have to stay light, which they will already be louder anyway. To do a rest stroke there too, or actually that's not the right fingerings. This one I have the right hand fingerings written on every single note. Like I'll share when I edit this, I'll share a screenshot. Every single note has right hand fingerings on it, and because it's just too much. If I get tangled up at that speed, it's so my intention is to play this rest stroke at the end. Oops. Same thing here. Yeah, a little bit more shape. I'm probably going to go back and practice it with dotted rhythms and all of that more in private, so I don't bore you. Like here there was one rest stroke and it was intentional. I wanted the B flat to be a little bit more delayed, and this one. With the rest stroke it's also much easier to put something behind the beat, because the way the touch is, it can be delayed. You can like stay on the string a little bit longer, and if you want to delay something, that's an easy way to do it. Where am I? Yeah, so it's that I could tell. for this section, I'll probably go back and practice with dotted rhythms, meaning like all of those running 16th notes. I would do something like this. And just kind of, even though I'm playing it, and it's good to go back and tighten the screws as I kind of like make the comparison, like you take your car to to get regulated or whatever. So even though I practiced it before, I raised it up to tempo, I'm still gonna keep going back and keep working on it so that when I'm playing it, my fingers just do what I hear in my head versus hoping that I get through the piece. All right, we're gonna keep going. Where am I? That's not the right thing. Okay. After the chaos over there, it's just a nice, really calm chord progression there. So it's hard to start in the middle. Not legato enough for my liking. Idea what I'm doing with my right hand. So it's mostly free stroke. The first one I'm playing rest stroke. That helps with like a kind of slow creep in there. Another thing, they're quarter notes, but I'm letting the bass ring for the whole measure because the whole measure is just harmony here. I'm just playing the same notes until the very end. So that means that this one as long as I'm letting the other ones ring. So that was a disaster. Another part where if the more relaxed you are, the louder you can play without it sounding like oops, like this really high kind of not like an ugly sound basically. The only thing I can say there. the more I move my fingers like bigger from the knuckle joint, the more momentum I have behind the strike, and the louder I can play before it sounds ugly. So that's the part, like doing small movements and making it tight usually doesn't sound good at high volumes and high speed. But if I relax and move my fingers more, then I can push the instrument more and it will not break and sound kind of crisp, or shrill rather. Let's try, and then whatever happens we keep going, because it's been 52 minutes. If you're still here, I hope you're refilling your coffee and tea. Arpeggios. This is the section that I took from Segovia. I just like how he had all the low extra basses, and I am a sucker for low basses, and on this guitar they just sound nice, so I just took that section and put it in right into Manuel's transcription. Now these are so annoying because you have the open strings and like you're pressing high up on a fretboard, and if I am like a little off, then I'm gonna touch that D string with the pad of my second finger. So I have to be so precise. Same thing here with the pad of the third finger. And makes it worse when I'm trying to reach for the third string. Like it drags my third finger down, so I have to really pin this and not move it. So as I'm doing this and preparing the C sharp, I don't start accidentally touching this. Yeah, that's something else. So again, something that looks so innocent, and you're like, oh, I finally made it to the arpeggios. They're relatively easier to do than the rest of the piece, or especially after the 32nd note section. And then, yeah. Okay, my second fingernail, you're gonna have to pardon me, but we're all guitarists here. And would it be a practice session without filing nails? My second finger is too long, and I can't, the nail, I can't like go too much on the tip, and that's gonna cause me issues. So keep your left hand nails short, so that when you have to do things like this and reach over, sometimes you're gonna be pressing with the tip of your finger, and if your nail is too long, it's gonna dig in, just like mine was. All right, back on track. By a minefield. I'm gonna keep going. We still have lots of pages to go. and it's now hidden. It's not hidden, but it's on a dull string. It's the third string, and you have resonant basses around it, so you have to really make sure you're hearing it. Section. This is the section of that famous Chaconne chord, which I will not be playing. This is what's written in Segovia's. That it ain't gonna happen. Even if I could possibly get this out of context, it will not happen in context. So after a couple of tries, I just changed the string. So I'm still playing all the notes, but so instead of doing, he had this written, like he initially, he had it all in first position. That's not gonna happen. So what I'm doing it, instead of doing this, I'm setting up myself like this. I'm putting the B on the 8th fret, B flat, I'm kind of stretching back, and then here, that chord, which is this, I'm doing it here. What am I playing? It makes it way less comfortable for the right hand because you have to kind of spread out your fingers. It does raise the chance of pulling strings out of tune here. And then you stay here and a switch here. But for my size hands, that's the only way it's gonna work. If you have bigger hands and you can reach it, go for it. I think the original Manuel's transcription had it even simpler. It didn't have the basses. I think there was notes that taken out, but I wanted to keep the low basses. I didn't want to take make too many adjustments because I like the way it sounds. So that's gonna be the solution because I'd like to keep my fingers attached to my hand. So let me back up and then continue. Make sure I finish this note, and then I switch to the F here. It's doable. It's just that it takes some, bazillion repetitions. Because I meant to keep a finger prepared, but I didn't. Yeah, I meant to prepare this. All right, keep going. Section I wanted to stay intense all the way until I play all of these. Like all of it I wanted to be forte, and I wanted to sound all passionate and intense. So that means I have to be extra ready because it's hard to play. It's hard not to back off, basically. This is same fingering in the right hand. This is a nightmare. Where am I? Oh yeah. Now, if I kept that all intense like that, then when I go to the major section and it really calming down, it'll sound so much more effective. That's another one of those pesky buzzes because pressing fingers are touching open strings. Here it's the voices as they're coming in. I want to be able to hear them. So what I would do in this situation, I would play each one on its own. So this one. That's pretty simple. And then the inner voices. But I think the inner voice goes, then you have the E's. Okay, that's okay, but it becomes more obvious later, so. Top that goes, that's that, and then the inner voice, you have, the bottom voice, you have this, and then there's another voice that comes in the middle there. It becomes three voices when you play. Play everything together, things start to move in different directions, and if you play everything even, it'll come through. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, but yeah, you got the idea. So this kind of plays around. Then the bottom voice answers. Just like a conversation. Again to kind of like cascade down as I'm spelling out the chord. Like these. So I'm playing a D chord, right? So and then there's a huge interval. So it's like a sequence, going a step down each time. What am I playing? Okay, so. Those repeated A's because they're coming in everywhere, different octaves, and it's like a really a rhythmic thing that anchors the whole thing. Making an executive decision to let notes ring. The way it's written, that's letting it ring. And then here, it's a 16th note, which tells me to mute it. And I don't know, I played it that way a few times and it just sounds too, I don't know, it doesn't sound as full, it sounds a little bit like bare, and maybe that's the point, but I kind of like as it gets fuller and fuller because you're starting with single notes and then you're adding thirds and harmonies, and that bass kind of adds to the texture, and then all of a sudden like it goes to octaves, right? So I'm gonna let them ring, and yeah, I'm playing it, so executive decisions made. Bigger and bigger, so by letting it ring it just makes it more intense. However, it gets messy for me. This one I probably will mute. Yeah, okay. Wait. sticks because it's been more than an hour and concentration's going, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this for the sake of the video. I'm not gonna take a break. My apartment got hotter and hotter, and so did my guitar. Notorious tangle up your fingers arpeggio section. This is a nightmare. I love it. I love it because it sounds so cool, but the way the fingering works, first of all, you're just constantly moving back and forth, and no two chords, well, some of them are, but most of the chords, every time you do it, it's a different finger combination or different string combination. Like this is low 3 strings in a row, skip to the first, and then, so this is the same, and here, instead of the third. This is the same, and then it's 6th string, 4 second first, so a different spread again. So just when you thought you got used to the string combinations and you found where the strings are, the harmony changes and the strings change. I'll get it 1,000 more times. And this is probably one of my absolute favorite sections here. help myself. I couldn't stop. It's just so pretty after all that drama, and you get to minor again. Anyway, so the beginning is pretty straightforward here. I can't say I'm playing this exactly in time. I'm definitely stretching more. I put this to a metronome and I played it strictly with it, and it just sounded so, I don't know, it lost its sweetness, it lost its mystery and like the sadness that's here when you're playing it. So I'm gonna take a bit more liberty. It's still gonna have a pulse. That are kind of calling for it versus trying to keep strict time. Now these, I'm gonna try the best I can, whatever my fingers will let me, to hold notes so that the music stops sounding like I'm playing one line and starts to split into, like there's two voices happening. This one is these, and then you have the da, 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 that's gonna be in the background. Da, ya, da, 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 that's gonna stay one thing. Da, 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 ya, da, da, and then another one. Da, 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 and then again. So you're gonna have the secondary voice. Right? It's there. It splits into two as long as I let things ring, so it starts to create texture. That's the only one that I don't think I can stretch. That's Ooh, it is possible. For a recording, that's definitely possible. For a concert, yeah, I can hold this to make sure that in a recording it lasts. But in live situations, depends. Maybe if I do it a bazillion times, maybe it'll stay anyway. Oh, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Then here you have again this. One thing, and then where am I? Yeah. Right, and then you have and then it changes. Yeah. So again, I'm trying to split it and think in two things at the same time. One voice, except for when we add harmony to it in a guitar transcription, but you can find things that it really creates extra texture, and as long as you recognize them and you start to separate them in your head. rush the 32nd notes, and if I just didn't, life would be so much easier. For me to run? No. Okay, we're getting close. Oh my gosh, I think we're gonna finish under 2 hours. It's gonna happen. Oh, hey, that is not what I'm playing. I think I played that closed. Yeah, definitely one open, one closed. This is, I mean, there is 2 voices, it's just we don't have enough strings, like in what world, you know, this is not gonna happen. Like I wouldn't play it that way, right? So we're kind of creating it on the same string, does this. But again, it's the timing that's gonna help it still create like that separation as if you are playing 2 voices. You're playing, you're like 12 minutes in, you're getting mentally and physically exhausted, and then you got to do all of this. So I'm definitely balancing like this, making the thumb more. And then whenever the top comes out, I bring that too. This triplet section. I mean, I do. It's just hard. First one's okay. And then that's simple. Okay, so I need to not panic if I'm playing this. Sorry. And then it's just a C major chord. Okay, so I don't have to change anything for 3 beats. So. This is another one of those where it was written like this, and I found that so awkward, so I'm doing this. Little side note, so like for some people it's easier to stretch this way and less more difficult to switch this way, so that's like a preference. Like in some places that somebody else would way more prefer to do this, I prefer to do this because my stretch between my 3rd finger and my 4th finger comes more naturally to me, where this even though this is on its own, I can do it, but whenever I have to change positions like that, it's not as reliable, versus if I did this and I just reach with the pinky, more reliable. So that's customized fingerings. Sometimes you get an edition, and no matter how good the actual transcription is, or the player who did it is, sometimes it just doesn't fit your fingers. All right, tangent, done. So. This, I want to do rest stroke so much, but it's the stupid G. It just, they need to ring over, so I can't. That's gonna be rest stroke. I don't care. It's like the end. I have to. Because it's just so wimpy. Maybe if I practice free stroke will work, but nope, that's not right fingerings. I'm gonna see if I can get away with it. So we're here. No, that needs to stay longer. No, where is it shifting? Oh. It doesn't shift until then, okay. We could like be the pianists. I listened to this on the piano, the Busoni version, and the amount of fullness that it has, because 10 fingers, lots of keys. But for us, it's like it's okay. I just have to make sure I keep the intensity. Actually help. Yeah, I think normally what would have happened, the tempo I started at, it's not going to end at that tempo, and everyone I hear play, it just speeds up after a while. So when you play this is going to just be a little faster. Also with tempo, it doesn't allow the notes to decay as quickly, so the intensity remains because the whole thing stays louder, versus if you play it slow, you play a note and it decays, and like the overall volume starts to kind of like come down and the intensity gets lost. So I think I'm just have to keep the tempo up. So, oh my god, I can't believe you guys stuck around. For those of you who are still watching, wow, thank you. I hope you learned something. I hope it was either something new to learn, or just watching somebody else practice, torture themselves, whatever. Just some insight. Hopefully it inspired you to go pick up the guitar and play. I'm going to stop now, make sure my camera doesn't give up on me, and kind of quickly, edit the endings and post this on YouTube. So I will see you next time, and yeah, thanks again for watching all this time. See you next time.